So starting an LLC sounds like it's going to be complicated and cost way more than it should, but it really doesn't have to. You can actually get one set up in 2025 without spending a fortune. So stick around because I'm going to show you how to do it the cheapest way possible by using reliable online platforms. And if you do decide to check any of them out after watching, just go through the links in the description below, or you can scan the QR code on screen and use the code VenturesSmarter20 to save you 20% on the platforms I'm about to talk about. Now, here's the thing. The cheapest way to start an LLC today is by using an online filing service. These platforms basically take the whole headache out of the process. Instead of trying to figure out the state's website, worrying about messing something up, or paying way too much for a lawyer, you can just answer a few questions online and let them handle the rest. They prepare the paperwork, they file it with your state, and they even take care of the small but important details that a lot of first-time business owners overlook. What's nice is they also build in protections and reminders so you don't get slammed with penalties later. So instead of starting your business off stressed out, you get to start with things handled properly and for a fraction of what you'd expect to pay. Now, I want to cover some of the platforms that make this possible because not all of them are created equal. The first one I always point to people is Northwest Registered Agent. These guys are straightforward, which I appreciate because a lot of companies will try to upsell you on junk you don't actually need. Northwest keeps it simple. They include registered agent service, which you're legally required to have in every state, and they do this without tacking on hidden fees. Plus, they use their business address instead of your personal one on public records, which is a lifesaver if you don't want your home address out there for every spam mailer or solicitor to find. They also send compliance alerts so you don't accidentally forget annual reports or filings, because missing those can cost way more in penalties than just doing it right the first time. Their customer support is also solid. So if you ever dealt with companies where the support team just reads a script, you'll appreciate Northwest because they actually answer your questions in plain English instead of drowning you in legal jargon. Then there's ZenBusiness, which is probably the most budget-friendly choice overall, especially if you're the kind of person who wants everything bundled in one place without paying extra for every little thing. Their basic plan covers the essentials like preparing and filing your articles of organization, and they throw in an operating agreement template, which a lot of people don't realize they need until it's too late. Now, normally you'd have to pay separately for something like that or try to cobble one together yourself, and that usually ends up with mistakes. ZenBusiness also gives you registered agent service free for the first year, which is another cost off your plate right away. What I really like about them is their worry-free compliance setup. They send you reminders about deadlines so you don't miss important state filings, and they'll even cover the cost of filing your annual report in some states if you mess up. That kind of built-in safety net is huge, especially if this is your first time starting a business and you're just trying to keep your head above water. They also offer extras like EIN filing and even website setup. So if you want a full starter package without having to jump between multiple services, ZenBusiness is a strong pick. And last but certainly not least, we have LegalZoom, which is kind of the big name in this space because they've been around forever. What sets LegalZoom apart isn't just their filing service, which is solid, but the fact that they give you access to a huge library of legal documents and templates. That's the kind of stuff that would normally cost you hundreds if you went to an attorney. But here it's baked into their packages. If you're someone who might need quick legal advice or help drafting contracts right away, LegalZoom also connects you with business attorneys who can review your documents or answer your questions without charging you an arm and a leg. They also have a compliance calendar so you can stay on top of important deadlines. And if you want ongoing legal or tax advice, they've got a business advisory plan that gives you unlimited consultations for a flat monthly fee. The bottom line is that each of these platforms has its own strengths, but they all do one very important thing. They save you money while still making sure your LLC is set up correctly and stays compliant. Northwest keeps things private and simple. ZenBusiness gives you the most value-packed starter bundle, and LegalZoom gives you that legal safety net if you know you're going to need it. No matter which one you go with, the key is that you're avoiding unnecessary costs and mistakes that could end up way more expensive in the long run. So to wrap this up, starting an LLC in 2025 doesn't have to be expensive or confusing. You can get it done quickly, cheaply, and with way less stress by using one of these platforms. Then instead of worrying about paperwork or compliance, you can actually focus on building your business and keeping your money where it belongs, which is in your pocket. And again, make sure to check out the links in the description or go through the QR code and use the code VenturesSmarter20 to get 20% off of any of these platforms. And now I want to hear from you guys. What's the #1 thing you've been holding back from starting your LLC? Drop it in the comments below.